my dears. Hello, I am here. Sorry for once again being slightly delayed. I did get a text from my neighbor just as I was setting up stream because he is going to trim the branches in the tree next to my office. Literally right outside my window. I won't probably see him because he's going to be on the other side of the tree, closer to his house. But I asked him to give me a heads up. One, so that I could find out if he was going to need to use like a chainsaw or something, but he's not. He's just using a handsaw, so we shouldn't hear him. But also so that if I see somebody floating by outside my window, I won't freak the fuck out. So that may be happening. I saw the ladder. I haven't seen him out yet, but our tree has gotten a little big, and some of the branches are poking at his roof, so he just wants to trim it. Which was fine with us, because Ghost actually wants to get rid of that tree. He just hasn't. So when he was like, hey, can I cut down some of your tree? We were like, yeah. Just, be safe. Honeyshuckle can't stay but wanted to say hi. Honeyshuckle, hello. I hope you're doing well. Have you heard back about the interview yet? If you're still here. Peter is first today. And also here with a 10 stream streak. I'm 10 today, look at my 10. Peter, you're amazing. How is it going, my friends? As I said, sorry I'm once again a little bit late, but as I was setting up, I got the text from my neighbor, and I was like, oh, if it's going to be super loud, I should maybe delay stream, but he was like, no, it won't be loud at all. So here we are. We are here in our magical, mystical house. With our brand new spirit boy, who I love to bits. I haven't checked if he does meditation. Oh my god, he does. Look at how cute! Look at his little cactus head. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, I sent a screenshot of him to Flanny and said that it reminded me of a mini him. Oh my goodness. It is rainy here in the real world today as well. For anyone who was lurking in the Winds of Chaos stream last night with me, I mentioned that I had a mega headache, because I did. And then it rained overnight, and I knew as soon as I woke up. That the rain had come, because my head was much clearer. I am a human barometer, so I can always tell when a storm is coming, because I get a mega headache. We're supposed to sort of be under thunderstorm watch for today. We don't get a ton of thunderstorms here, so I'm not too worried about it. But I hope it doesn't stay too stormy, because Ghost Pepper wanted to do bourguers on the grill tonight, and we really need to use the beef that's in our friend in our fridge. The beef that's in our fridge. I just got a message from Woof. Did I miss the pony submission? Peter, that reminds me. Have you given any thought to what you'd like to do with any of your ponies? Because today's the day we're going to talk about ponies and what's going to happen with them. I know, as soon as I accidentally said the beef that's in our friend, I was like, oh no, Peter's here. Oh no. So yeah, not much to report after yesterday. I dug in and got started on updating my prices on Amazon. So that's not been fun. Truth to tell, I haven't enjoyed it. But, lucky for me, I'm long-winded. So most of my books are long enough already that they aren't in the price bracket that I have to worry about, which is nice. But I have needed to go through and readjust some of my pricing on my ebooks for a while as well. I've sort of been putting it off. So I've been working on that. Did you add a note that says prices increased to include Bezos bitch tax? I didn't. But I shall mention that in my next newsletter. Yes, you have several ponies, Peter. I will say, as long as you try to get it to me in the next 2 weeks, I'm not going to be posting reminders as much anymore in the Discord, because I feel like I've spent 2 months telling people to give me ponies. But you are still fine to message me. If you message me after the 2-week mark, it might not get in, but we'll try our best. We will try. I'm gonna actually get out my iPad because I need to do a little bit of pony research. And I have been experiencing some not so great ads lately whenever I go on Fandom. And I have a suspicion I'm gonna need to go on Fandom, so I'm gonna do it from my iPad. Because I need to spend a hot second brushing up on my Equestria lore. Oh, there's actually a Wikipedia article about it. A fictional kingdom and the main setting of the 4th and 5th generations of the My Little Pony toy line and media franchise, including the animated television series My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Yes, there are 3 types of ponies, and when you submit your pony, you need to choose. So you can be an earth pony, which are just normal, run-of-the-mill, regular ponies. You can be a unicorn pony, which is, they're usually slightly magical. And you can be a Pegasus pony, which means that you can be a flying pony. I did say no alicorns, because the alicorns are supposed to be special. So alicorns are like the princesses, and they have both the unicorn horn and the Pegasus wings. But you can be a unicorn. I wish to be a unicorn that bangs the Pegasus and becomes a Pegacorn. I think you have like 7 ponies, Peter, so... Unfortunately, no Pegacorns, because that would be an alicorn. But you can have a unicorn and a Pegasus who are dating, if you would like. So here's the history of Equestria as depicted in My Little Pony and described on Wikipedia. Equestria began at the end of the Age of Eternal Winter. Before founding Equestria, the 3 major pony types, Earth ponies, unicorns, and Pegasi, were separate tribes. This period is described as chaotic when horse-like creatures known as Wendigos, who fed on hate and division, brought freezing temperatures and eternal darkness to the world, and other monsters terrorized the populace. The 3 tribes separately immigrated to the land of Equestria, where they began feuding with each other, which fueled the strength of the Wendigos. Eventually, the tribes set aside their squabbles to unite as a nation of Equestria and defeat the Wendigos. The foundation of Equestria is celebrated during the annual Hearthswarming Day festival, which is depicted as similar to Christmas or Yule celebrations. Equestria initially struggled with ensuring that the sun and moon set at proper times, which drained the powers of Equestria's most powerful sorcerers. The birth of future princesses Celestia and Luna, alicorn sisters who could raise and lower the celestial bodies at will, ushered in an era of prosperity. The sisters were crowned as the rulers of Equestria and were trained by the legendary wizard Starswirl the Bearded to use their powers. Under Princess Celestia and Luna, Equestria could focus greater magic and resources on its development despite the emergence of threats like the evil centaur lord Tarek, the chaos god Discord, and the wars between ponies and the shape-shifting changeling hive. Under the princesses, Equestria was transformed into a regional superpower. This is all Wikipedia, by the way. I haven't even gone into the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic wiki yet. 6 legendary ponies wielded the elements of harmony to defend Equestria from these threats and planted the Tree of Harmony so other generations could do the same. The status quo remained unchanged until the corruption of Princess Luna, who transformed into Nightmare Moon with the intent of plunging Equestria into eternal night. This culminated in Celestia banishing her own sister to the moon for a millennium, creating a pattern of Maria on the surface that resembled the head of a unicorn, creating the legend of the mare in the moon, a play on the man in the moon. After 1,000 years of exile, Nightmare Moon returned only to be defeated by the main 6, which are the characters in My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. After her defeat, she returned to being Princess Luna. In Equestria's early history, the Northern Crystal Empire was ruled by Princess Amor. Later, the tyrannical King Sombra took over the kingdom and enslaved the Crystal Ponies. After Celestia and Luna defeated Sombra with the magical Crystal Heart, he cursed the Crystal Empire to disappear, which it did for 1,000 years. There's a lot of things that happened for exactly 1,000 years in this show. 1,000 years are like 1,000 years in 3 days. 1,000 years, apparently. The Crystal Empire later reappeared and was ruled by Princess Cadence and her husband Shining Armor, who is Twilight's brother. By the end of Friendship is Magic, the rule of Equestria was passed down to Princess Twilight Sparkle. I never watched that far. The reign of Twilight Sparkle brought about increase in peace, prosperity, hope, and love as Princess Twilight continued her magical research and made her diplomatic mission to spread friendship to every creature in need. Throughout Equestria's history, it has maintained distant but mostly friendly relations with other nations, like the zebras and the yaks. So there we go. That is the brief history of Equestria. Equestria is the largest equine nation, stretching across a continent that touches the northern Arctic and subarctic poles. Equestria reaches from the western Luna Ocean to the eastern Celestial Sea, bordering the northern Crystal Empire and the southern Queendom of the Changelings. So I might have to create a whole continent. Boy, I don't even need to go on fandom. Wikipedia just has a fuck ton of information about My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Manhattan. Okay. Let me look at a map of Equestria. Question 1. What? Question 2. What are you whatting, Peter? I need to know. Why is it showing me maps? Oh, because I clicked on maps instead of images. Lol. Okay. Okay, so it's probably better if we do like our own sort of continent type thing. Did you ever imagine that you'd come on my stream and we'd be talking about the deep lore of My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic? I don't understand any of this, so they just vibed for 1,000 years while that pony was on the moon. Yeah, life just went on, everything was normal, and she was in the moon. She was, like, locked as a prisoner in the moon, and life developed. So the first season of the show is essentially, like, the opening of the show is that, way in the long ago, there were the two princesses, Celestia and Luna. Celestia was, like, the good princess, and Luna became the evil princess, Nightmare Moon, and was banished to the moon. And then the prison that was holding her weakened at the beginning of the show, and so Twilight Sparkle and her new friends that she makes literally on the first episode of the show had to find the elements of harmony, of which there are 6, and there are 6 main characters in the show. How convenient. And so they had to travel together into this place where Luna was. And they had to pass the tests of the elements of harmony. And then when they had proven their friendship, they were able to defeat Nightmare Moon by turning her back into Luna. And she became good again. And she went home to be with Princess Celestia, and everything was cool again. No, the, Celestia and Luna were 1,000 years old, but Twilight Sparkle and her friends were teenagers. Or young adults. I think they're supposed to be adults. Rarity owns her own shop, so I think they're supposed to be adults. They're supposed to be, like, young adults. I think Twilight Sparkle is supposed to be, like, college age. So, Luna was 1,000 years old, but the rest of the characters aren't. You have to watch the show, really. So yeah. So I think that'll work. I think we can basically just... Let me open some things here. How detailed notes do I want to keep for this fic is one of the questions we need to ask right now. I'll put it under here. Here. I vaguely remember a VHS movie from the 80s or 90s where the household appliances came alive and kicked the ponies out of the house. Are you sure you're not thinking about the Brave Little Toaster? Sardonisms! Hello, we are brushing up on our Equestria lore. I'm fairly sure because the thing sing a song about never seeing the ponies again. I don't remember that one. I do remember that one of my favorite movies when I was younger was from the original My Little Pony TV show, way back before Friendship is Magic was ever thought of. Sardonisms, how you doing today? So the idea behind that one was that everybody lived in harmony until the evil, like, demon lord showed up. And he had a bag of darkness. I'm not making this up. He had a bag of darkness, and he used the darkness to curse the ponies and make them evil, and he was slowly taking over everything. So the ponies that were trying to save the world had to find a rainbow. And in order to find a rainbow, they went to the human world, and they found a horse girl named Megan. Not making this up. Her name was Megan. She traveled with them to Magical Ponyland, and they went to see a wizard who lived in, like, a fairy house, and he gave them a little locket that had a tiny little rainbow in it. And when they went to fight the evil lord, they opened up the locket, and the tiny little rainbow came out, and it got consumed by the darkness, and everyone thought that they lost, and then the rainbow took over the power of the darkness and converted it into a giant rainbow, because the power of the rainbow can't be beat. That's what I learned as a child. That's what I learned as a child. The rainbow is the most powerful power out there, which is why we should all just embrace the power of the rainbow. No one can beat the gays. Exactly. That's what I was saying. We have to just embrace it, right? We are all part of the rainbow. Achievement unlocked. Resumed exercise after taking 2 weeks off due to injury. As a result, I'm very tired. Sardonisms, I feel you. I started exercising again last week after a couple months of not doing it. And after the first 2 days, my legs hated me so bad. I was just, like, shuffling through the house like a freaking penguin or something. But I'm doing better this week. I'm doing a lot better this week. I hope you take it easy and get a break. Woof, how's it going? Have you decided what kind of pony you want? I'm assuming I don't need to tell you, but you need to also tell me what type of pony you want and what their cutie mark is. You can be Earth Pony, you can be Pegasus Pony, you can be Unicorn Pony. No alicorns, please. I did like 10 minutes of fitness boxing with Hatsune Miku. Nice! I've just been walking up and down the stairs for 5-minute intervals. And after the first couple rounds, my legs were like, what are you doing, you dumb bitch? Being a unicorn because it's Scotland's national animal. Hell yeah, Peter, I love that. Okay, so we're gonna create our own continents. So we're just gonna take Arvalia and set it in the pony world. Okay. Sentence I never thought I'd write. Aravalia is located on a different continent from Equestria, located across the Celestial Sea on the far side of the Griffstone Mountains and Bugbear territory. So there we go. And then from there, we're just gonna use... So I already have a bunch of pony characters that I've come up with. So I need to open folder. Alright. I think it's all just in my character avatars. So I have a crescent pony, I have a Domerin pony, I have a rose pony. I believe there's a Silkfoot pony, so we should probably get him in there somewhere. Ooh, I made a mainframe pony, too. So should get her in there for sure. Oh yeah, there's definitely a Silkfoot pony. There was a Sesha pony. I have Sesha pony! I do have a Sesha pony. Hey, Mama Bucko, what's going on? We are, so last year, my computer died, and I needed to buy a new one. So we did a bit of a fundraiser to cover the cost of this boy over here, Langdale, my new PC. And the big final unlock for you guys, was that I would turn my grumpy elf son right down there into a pony, and make a My Little Domerin fanfic. So we're starting that today. How's it going, Mama Buckle? I'm having an argument with a video file customer. With a video file a customer sent in. It needs to be no more than 20 megabytes to attach to the case, and it refuses to compress to smaller than 31. I'm not sure how you would compress a video file other than zipping it. You found it! It was called The Revolt of Paradise Estate, and it was magic paint. I've never heard of it, Peter. Was it a British cartoon? Alright, I'm gonna show you guys... Hang on. Display capture. Okay. This is my folder of, basically I just go on doll maker sites and make a bunch of my characters, in case any of you are wondering where these come from. This is, it's Domerin. Okay. So, Domerin Pony is here, and as you can see, he hates the fact that he exists. Zipping takes off like 0.3 megabytes. I don't even know how you would compress a video file unless you like completely like re-encoded it. Didn't you say you're filming soon, Mama Buckle? When is that happening? This is an episode of My Little Pony. I posted it in the check this. I only remember the made-for-TV movie one. I don't remember anything that comes after that. Oh, I love that, Woof. That's such a good idea. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, I only remember the made-for-TV movie, but it's that same cartoon. It's the same one. Also, I remember the sea ponies, because they sing, shoop-de-doop, shoop-shoop-de-doop. Call upon the sea ponies when you're in distress. I made you myself so hardcore right now. This is Domerin Pony. He doesn't like the fact that he exists. And then we have Crescent Pony. I apparently have two of him. I think I have one with the cutie mark in a slightly different place. So you got Crescent Pony. And then we've got oh, there's a Kestrel Pony too. There's a Rose Pony. So she's an alicorn because the alicorns are princesses and she's a princess. So she's an alicorn. And then there is also a Sesha Pony. Sesha Pony is super cute. Let's just talk about how super cute Sesha Pony is. And then we have Mainframe Pony, who also is just mad in general because that character is always mad. And then, yeah, there's a Kestrel Pony. And there's a Silkfoot Pony. Where's Silkfoot? The Silkfoot Pony is super cute. Look at this. Look at this kid! Currently trying to figure out how to cut it into 2 files. If you have, like, Movie Maker or something, you might be able to do it. Video is, like, way outside my knowledge area. I think they chop them up into different versions of in different countries. Like, I don't know if it ever aired on TV here, but they did put out a bunch of VHS. Yeah, we had that made-for-TV movie on VHS as well. I'm so excited for Bard Pony and Carly Pony. There will be a Bard Pony and a Carly Pony. We did make a bunch of these. I just love the expression on Silkfoot Pony's face. So yeah, this is my this is my little folder of just avatars. So you can see like how many pictures of Domerin that I just make on doll makers. So, and this is one I did of Ephema. She's much older than this, but you can't usually make people look old. And I have a Rose one. I don't even know where I get all of these. This is a screenshot from Dreaming Daddy, apparently. That was from Dream Daddy. I don't know why I screenshotted that, but cool. I have Domerin as a merman. I also have one of Rose as a mermaid as well. Most of these doll makers probably don't exist anymore, but I used to just spend a lot of my free time going on like doll maker sites and making a bunch of, this is Silkfoot, making a bunch of my characters in the doll makers and then just saving them for various reasons. So yeah. Domerin as a Powerpuff character. I actually really like this one. It suits him really well. Lady Cassandra, hello, hello! Rose gets you with those tentacles. Hell yeah, she does. I like this one too. I don't remember where I made these ones. I don't remember what like the doll maker was for these, but this one and the Silkfoot one are some of my favorites. I really like when I can get the super, super grumpy expressions for Domerin. Because then the Silkfoot one is like that. I also have this one. I didn't make this one. I think Woof made this one, but I think that's super cute. If you have a Subel one, you have to send it to me. So yeah. And then these are from like Gaia Online. I don't even know if that thing is still around anymore. Have a bunch of little character avatars. and whatnot. So there we go. But this is Domerin Pony. He's gonna be the main star of this that we're doing right now. Lady Cassandra, how's it going? What is up? Pi is here with Pydrates, although I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop AFK and refresh my coffee before I do those Pydrates so that I can do those Pydrates with the hottest of hot coffee. Send them through Discord. Ah, he's so cute. Is the second one Sasha? Aw, the crescent one is so cute. Is that Robin? Hang on. Let me... Can I open these in browser? Look at this cutie patootie! And this is Sasha, another cutie patootie. And Crescent, the cutest patootie. And I'm assuming this is Robin. Hell yeah! Nobody knows who half of those characters are, but I do. I love that Robin just dyes her hair like super bright colors. I did a thing. Hang on. I think Wolf actually bought me this coloring book as well. I did a picture of Robin. She has like... They gave her orange hair. Oh no, I did pink as well. I gave her an orange tail. Robin as a mermaid. So, that was my interpretation. I saw that picture and I was like, I gotta do Robin! I gave her the dark roots in the hair as well. For those that don't know, in certain worlds... Come on, camera, focus. Camera! Here it goes. In certain worlds, Robin is Domerin's daughter. There are some universes in which Robin is Domerin's daughter. Pi, appreciate you. Hope you had a fabulous day at work, and I hope you're getting some relaxation now. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Pydrates that we will do as soon as we get back from break. Heck yeah. Just basically gonna make a list of things that I'm going to summarize. She loves the bright colors. Heck yeah. Alright. Oh, Wolf, avert your eyes if you don't want to see the new spirit. Alright. So, we need, a brief description of our Revalia. And then we're gonna do Rose, ruler, Domerin, whose name I've already spelled wrong. He's the captain of the Royal Guard. I'm gonna need to make a Greg pony. We're gonna make him the chief of police, because we're gonna simplify things a little bit. Oops. What I'm trying to do here. We need Crescent. He's gonna be head of the diplomats. Okay, okay. We gotta have Valia and Rylan. We should have Mainframe, because I already made a pony for her. And then we gotta do Silkfoot and Kestrel. Because I have ponies for them. So there we go. Let's swap these around a little bit. And then we're gonna have guest ponies created by chat. But I don't know if we'll get to all of those today, because I think I'm just gonna stick to the main character intros. And what I might do is do a post afterwards talking a little bit more about the guest ponies. So we're basically doing like the world building today, and then I kind of have a rough idea of what I want the story to be, and we'll start blocking that out. Hey Blur, how's it going? Clipchamp will cut it in half, but distorts the video. What do you need it for, Sardonisms? Is it just so that it can be attached to like a case? Can you like upload it to Google Drive or something and then put a link in the case file instead? She would wear a shirt like that? Heck yeah, she would. Hair and tail on point? Hell yeah. Hell yeah! The Petercorn is a precious boy and must be protected. What's his cutie mark, Peter? What's Petercorn's cutie mark? Alright. So we've got a rough outline of what we're working on. I'm gonna go take a quick break, and then we will swap out our activity and stuff and do an actual timer. We have been productive today, though. We have been productive, even though it doesn't sound like we have, because we've gathered information. I've refreshed myself on the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic lore. I remember the base story for Equestria now. We looked up a map, we've got where we're going, we've got some references that have to do with the actual show. So we're ready to go. Oh, Siribot on point. And now I'm gonna go take a quick break, and we're gonna get our first timer started. Finally got a good night's sleep! Blur, glad to hear it. Heck yeah. I do be back. I just realized I forgot to put Sesha Pony. He's gonna be head doctor at Queen's Hospital. Okay. Thanks, Blur. How's it going? What you up to today? Are you video editing today or arting? Alright. Alright. We got hydrates. A 1. A 2. A 3. We will start with, let me move this down a bit. Perfect. Alright. Now, I did want to hang out with a particular spirit today. Because I think this is just too adorable. So let's unlock this skin. Look at him! What a cutie! And let's go hang out somewhere. We could go to the kitchen and do some typing so that our sweet little boop will, drink some tea. Look at him! He's so cute! Why? Oh, I want one for the real world. Finishing up what I was working on yesterday. Just need to add some background music and it should be ready to export. Actually, one more. And that's 5 hydrates. I gotta say, the design team nailed it for this game. Some of these spirits are too cute for words. My goodness. Alright. We are gonna do a sprinty spront, and I am going to type up some things. I've got my pictures here for reference. Good. So I'm basically just going to, for each character, give them like a rough description and then describe what their cutie mark is and like if they have a special ability, what their special ability is. I assume... Alright. Sending some more info about my pony that I just thought of. Hell yeah. No worries, Blur. Like I said, I probably won't get to the guest ponies today because there are a lot of them. And I'll probably just put them, like, insert them into the story and then sort of do a post for afterwards about each pony and who submitted it. But yes, if there's any information you want me to have on your ponies, please do get that to me ASAP so that I can make sure that they are included in the story. Alright, let's do the thing. Okay, perfect, Blur. No problem. Appreciate. Okay. I'm already so tired of typing ponies, my fingers are like revolting. Oops. No, stop clicking on that. I'm not gonna go too deep into the makeup of Aravalia because it can basically have whatever biomes we need it to have because that's how Equestria works too. describe these ponies now. I hear the garbage truck. I was like, what do I hear thumping around in the other room? It's out on the street. It's the garbage truck. Welcome back, honey shuckle. How's it going? Did you hear back about your phone interview? They want to get back to me next week, but I did hear back from Pasta People with a no. Pasta People? Came back from walking around and handing out my resume to people like I'm in the 60s, so maybe one of those. And in the meantime, I'm halfway done with the first sketch of my animatic, which means I'm like an eighth of the way done with the total project from how much cleaning I'll have to do. Well, what I saw of the animatic looked really cool, Honeysuckle. I didn't get to see what you posted today, but I saw the other one, and it looks super cool, so I'm glad that progress is going. That reminds me, I'll show you guys the octopus at the break. I hope you hear from someone about a job. It sucks that it's so hard to find a job these days. Everyone I've spoken to has basically said the same thing. That it takes a lot of applications and a lot of just kind of white knuckle getting through. But I really hope that you hear from someone. I really hope that the one that you mentioned yesterday goes well. Do ponies tend to have last names in Friendship is Magic? I feel like some of them did. But not very many. I love that Wikipedia actually has, like, a breakdown of, like, the heads of state and the language and the races and stuff for this fictional country. It amuses me greatly. Well, some of them do have family names. I see, I see. Pinkie Pie's family name is Pie. But Applejack doesn't have a family name. Rarity's father's name is Hondo Flanks. Okay, then. I don't know! I'm trying to find out if there's like a common naming scheme for the ponies. So it's like all of Pinkie Pie's family has Pie as their last name, but all of Applejack's family just has Apple names. They don't have like a family name. And it looks like the same is true for most of the ponies don't have family names. So Rarity's name is just Rarity. Her father is Hondo Flanks. I'm not making that up. It's right here on Wikipedia. Cookie Crumbles, and then her mother, and then her sister is Sweetie Belle. Isn't that like having the name Butt Cheek? Yeah. 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 That's what I'm thinking, Honeysuckle. But it's a kid's show, so I guess... It's a kid's show, so I guess it's okay. I guess they won't think about it too hard. To be honest, if that one falls through, I wouldn't be devastated. I really hope the little coffee shop on the corner wants me. Well, I really hope they want you too. Save alert from Pie. Everybody save your work. And I will do the stretch as soon as we finish the sprinty spronts. I'm just not gonna give any of my characters last names. They're all just gonna have one name. Which is gonna be weird for Greg, but sure. Okay, so I got through a brief introduction of the project, a brief introduction of Aravalia, and then we got through Rose and Domerin. So I just have the other cast to get through here. I might have to break this down into 2 posts if it ends up being super long, but we'll see. Let's have a stretch. Pie, how's it going? What you up to? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I am going to hit the save button because we've got a save alert from Blur. Hit that save button. Save your work. I am going to go take a quick bathroom break. I got through quite a lot on that sprint, which I'm very pleased about. Need to fix my my mat underneath my computer desk. It has shifted quite severely. So I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to run to the washroom, and when I get back, I will show you guys the progress that I've made on the octopus, because I've made a lot of progress on the octopus. And I've been trying to decide if I want to do it on 11 CT fabric or 14 CT fabric, which is what I have. But it'll be... I've done some math, and I think it'll be about 6 inches smaller if I do it on the 14 CT, so I might have to acquire myself some 11 CT fabric, although that means making some tough choices. But I'll show you the progress on the pattern. I've worked so hard on this pattern, I want it to be a decent size when it's done. Didn't get much work done because my editing software was being slow. No! Blur! I hope you're able to get that sorted out. We'll be right back, and I'll show you the octopus. have returned. And I can't remember if I did Blur's hydrate, so let us hydrate. Heck yeah. So let me show you guys, let me bring it up. Minimize everything that's on my screen so I don't accidentally show you guys the wrong thing. Okay. Rai-Rai's back and pissed off. Why? Rai-Rai, why are you angry? Alright, I gotta zoom out enough that you guys will be able to see what it is. But here you can see the top, basically. So this is... Someone tried to insurance scam you in the parking lot. What? What happened? So this is, you can see the top part, here's the head, and here's the tentacle that's holding on to a teacup, and then there's another tentacle here, and then we're working on this part down here. So this part of the teacup isn't done yet, but you can see that I'm basically on sort of the last quadrant here. So this is mostly going to be teacup, and then this tentacle kind of wraps down around here, so we're working on finishing this tentacle right now. And there you go. You can sort of see it coming together. And if I zoom in just a little bit more, you can see it's hard to see, but these are the eyes right here. So there's another tentacle that wraps back there, and then there's a tentacle down here that wraps around this is the sort of handle for the teacup, and then you can see that this will be another handle with the teacup here. This is like the inside of the teacup, and the coffee spilling out. So we're getting there. Very, very getting there. And I think I've decided to buy some 11 CT fabric for this. Hang on. Oh, I thought I was missing some things, but you just can't see them. If I zoom out far enough, there are holes where some of the colors don't show up. So that's good to know. But yeah, so there we go. It's coming along. It's coming along pretty well. I just gotta fill in. I'm hoping to get it done by this weekend. By the end of this weekend, but I might have to do some of it next week to wrap it up. So there we go. I barely hit the car door and they raised hell that I chipped their paint and shit, so I started recording. It didn't line up at all, and then they got even more pissy when they realized I had it on film. So I called my insurance company, and they made a note about it, but won't take the video unless she films against my license plate number. So basically there was already damage on her car, and she tried to blame it on you, it sounds like. I just had a favorite call this week. I got to make a computer dance for me. How do you make a computer dance? So yeah, there we go. I've been diligently working on this, getting through it. I'm pleased when I zoom out by like how much it looks like what it's supposed to look like. So there we go. I'm gonna, basically this tentacle comes down here and sort of like wraps around in front of the teacup, and then I just have to finish the teacup. Just showed someone how to turn search results into a clean spreadsheet and made it all pretty. Heck yeah! That sounds awesome. All right. Let me fix my zoom here. Don't accidentally zoom in to 300 again like I did yesterday. Oh my goodness. They were also parked on the line. Gosh, some people, especially in parking lots, people just kind of lose their minds. I wonder what the night lighting looks like from here. Aw, kind of cool. Sometimes I like to just load up a scene and see what it looks like at different times of day. Oh my goodness. I do like this skin though. Super cute. Okay. So now you've seen what my secret project has been for the last... I guess it's not a secret, but what my crafting project has been for the last little while. I've basically been... There's two sizes of fabric. There's a bunch of sizes of fabric, but there's two main sizes of fabric I'm looking at. The original pattern was designed to be on 12 CT fabric, which means 12 holes per inch, essentially, I believe is how it works. Per, like, square inch. Which means that it would make it a slightly bigger pattern, but you're also supposed to use 3 threads instead of 2. So I'm not sure how that works with blends. And then I have 14 CT fabric, which is smaller. But I've worked just so hard on this that I think I want it to be slightly bigger, a slightly bigger pattern. There doesn't seem to be a hard or fast rule for deciding how to do blended threads. So in case you guys wonder what I'm talking about, this is a solid color, and this is a solid color, and then this is a blended color. So when you work in 14 CT fabric, you just use one of each color, but when you're working with 11 CT fabric, you're using 3 strands. So I'm curious how you do a blended color. This is just super cool, these like color swatches. Although these are just equal value threads, so I don't know that this will help me too much. Crafting stuff. Although what's interesting here is it looks like they skip a hole to make it bigger. I wonder if you can do that. Yeah, I'm trying to, so I'll show it again. Hang on. I've been making I found a cross stitch that I really wanted to do, but I couldn't buy the pattern anywhere. So I'm making the pattern off of some reference pictures. I'm making a version of the pattern, I should say. It's not going to be the exact pattern. I'm making a version of the pattern. So it's this little octopus, holding on to, like a spilling teacup, and then also coming out of a teacup. But as I've kind of explained, the original pattern was designed for 12 CT or 11 CT fabric, which used three threads to stitch, and what I have is 14 CT fabric, which you only use 2. It is super cute. Like, I'm putting a stupid amount of work into this, but it's gonna be so cute when it's done. So my question is, because as you can kind of see on the side here, there's a lot of blended colors. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, what do you do when you are using 3 threads, but you're using a blended color? How do I decide what the color balance should be? Because I don't have the original... I don't have the original, like, recommendation, like, the person who designed this, to see, what, like, the thread balance should be. Although I feel like when I zoom in on this, it says to use 2 strands and not 3 strands. So I guess I could do it on an 11 CT and just use 2 strands. I've done that before. But I was noticing that on here, I'm not sure which level of fabric they're using, but it looks like they actually skipped a hole. So can you do that? Can you take a 14 CT fabric and make a pattern bigger by just skipping a hole? How would you do that? How would you do that? I'm new to custom patterns, so I'm researching and learning, but it's an interesting rabbit hole to have fallen down. One Iron M, how's it going? How are you? What are you up to? We are working on a fanfic for My Little Pony. That was unlocked by the chat here, so we are laying out the characters and their descriptions. Oop, I forgot to open that so it would not freeze anymore. And getting ready to write that. Makes sense that you could. I imagine on that page they're doing it to make it bigger for the sake of an example. True, that does make sense. It's been 15 minutes. Blur, are you timing me? Thank you. Appreciate. We are without a break timer at the moment because, as we learned yesterday, the stopwatch doesn't really work in the new timer. So, ooh, you guys can't quite see the end of the bar there. So we are attempting to. Today I'm not too worried because I don't need to be quite as stringent on my time. I'm confident I'll finish pretty quickly. But we're trying to figure out how to be organized without the rotating timer. I've never been brave enough to try pattern making before. Honestly, it's partially just out of sheer frustration because I tried so hard to buy this pattern. I looked for it everywhere. I desperately wanted to pay the author of this pattern. But they're a Russian designer and their design is only available through a Russian site, and I don't want my credit card stolen. So I'm kind of doing an homage to the original by creating one that's my own. So it is going to have differences. I've definitely made some conscious decisions to do some things differently. But I'm trying to capture like the original design. And I'm mostly just doing it because I really, really want this freaking octopus in my life. But also, I can't find it anywhere. But I'm learning a lot about pattern creation. Enough that eventually I think I might be able to strike out on my own. It's definitely a hope. Just working on work. Now I'm thinking about cross-stitch. I know, cross-stitch is always just a little bit on my mind. Did get some super old pattern books of traditional Slovak embroidery designs for my mom, and I want to try out some of those. That sounds amazing! I was thinking since you don't have a break timer anymore, I'd just do the timer myself. That's fair, Blur. 100%. I got one more thing I'm gonna read and then we're gonna do the next timer. Most people don't seem to have a dedicated way of handling blended colors. This is just how to organize them, so that's not necessarily... What is frogging? I've never heard of frogging before. So many things to learn, but right now we gotta go back to talking about ponies. I'm rereading I Can Do It instead of writing the new thing. Have they said anything about the stopwatch not keeping consistent time? Not that I've seen, but the new patch literally just came out on Monday, so they might not... I don't know how often they can hot patch, and they just released Mac support, so I'm imagining a lot of their focus is on that right now. I haven't joined their Discord. I'm of a mixed mind. Part of me wants to join their Discord and see what they say in there, and part of me is like, I'm in too many Discords already. I'm in like 6 billion Discords. Tried calling back, but I got a super scammy sounding automated message. Yeah, it was probably a scammy sounding thing trying to get through to you. because I don't have a design for him. Where's my Sasha Pony? There we go. I believe it's called the Caduceus. Yes, the Caduceus is the staff with two snakes. Look up one more thing about Equestria lore. Woofna, what's up? Woof McGee, what do you need? What do you need? What do you want? What do you need? You just want to get my attention? Is that all? I need to look up because I think I remember Zecora being a potion maker. Woof, I love you. You're amazing. Never change. Looking for information. I'm going to say, ooh, Don the Octopus. I'm going to say that because Sasha is a Pegasus pony and he can't have magic, that he studied potions with the zebras. And so he's very good at potions. Potion seller. Potion seller. I have all these points and don't know what to do with them. I was hoping to do a refresh of like points redeems this week and add some new ones, and I didn't get to because I had to change my Amazon prices, but I promise a revamp of channel points is coming. The hat is always a good one though. Have you read the tarot sequence? Not yet. It is on my to-read list because, as Wolf mentioned, he has recommended it to me. I simply haven't been able to acquire it yet. I keep meaning to keep an eye out for it to go on sale, and I keep forgetting, so I'll have to check. I have a list of books that Wolf has recommended to me. I'm gonna start reading The Magpie Lord, the one that we were talking about the other week. I'm gonna start reading that tomorrow. And that was recommended to me by Wolf. Okay, so we're mostly done. We've reached the... getting close to the end. Bagpipe Lord is also very good. I will be starting it on Thursday. Tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday, right? Yeah, so I'm going to start it tomorrow evening. I don't think it goes on sale. I might have bought extra Audible credits to get the whole series so I could read during my commute. Nice! Well, I really just kind of glimpsed at it before. I'm gonna actually, like, sit down and actually read it. Today is Wednesday. Good. Okay. For a minute, I was like, wait, what actual day is it? It's been a wild week so far, you guys. Not gonna lie. Haven't saved in a while, so hitting the save button. have to admit I have no idea how I would handle an audiobook of a book that is so spicy. Which one is spicy? The one I'm gonna read or the tarot one? Joe, how's it going? Did you have your sleep study last night, Joe? How did it go? When do you get results from that? Magpie is spicy. Okay. Good to know. Where did my Kestrel Pony go? Kestrel Pony, where are you? There he is. And I'm down to just the last couple people here. Basically the honorable mentions at this point. Very short, intense, spicy. Good to know. I did in fact sleep in a strange place last night. That makes it sound like you woke up in the woods. Wait, that would be normal for you, Joe? I thought you sleep in a beanbag. So how did it go? Like, did they say whether or not they got what they needed? Like, are they gonna have results for you at some point? How long does it take them to analyze that? Joe is a cryptid. I would believe it. I would believe that. I'm just curious because I know when they do the machine, when they send the machine home with you, it takes you a little while to get the results. But I wondered if you get the results, like, right away if you go into the lab to do it. Because Ghost never had to go into the lab to actually do the in-house sleep study or whatever they call it. The in-person one. He did the at-home one. I fall asleep in a beanbag. Sometimes I wake up elsewhere. That concerns me. I am concerned. I have the concern. So when do you get the results, Joe? Did they tell you? Like, did they say, like, hey, we'll have the results for you in, like, 2 days? Or do they just send you home? Do you wake up and they're just like, leave? Okay, leave now. Damn. So they're just like, come here, sleep in this weird ass place, and then leave. Almost done with music! Heck yeah, good luck, Blur. I'm gonna take a quick break. I'm not gonna do another timer because I pretty much just have, I think, like 4 paragraphs to write. So I think I'm just gonna belt out the last few paragraphs here and then we'll call it a day. We got further than I actually anticipated that we would get because I ended up putting in a fair few more characters than I anticipated. And I already did like my quick background of Equestria and like where I'm gonna fit the kingdom and stuff in. So next time we're gonna be able to do like a blocking of the plot and start planning like how I want things to fit into the story, which is good. I'm going to do kind of a rough outline so I have some idea of what I want the plot to be. But I'm not going to post that until after the end of the story. So what I'll do is I'll create that blog post, but I'll just keep pushing it down in my queue until the end. So probably we'll do 1 session of that, and then we'll just get started. I have to decide if I want to do like an episodic format. I have to make some decisions, but not today. They gave me a slap on the ass at 5 a.m. and sent me home. Dang. So did you go back to sleep in the beanbag then? That sounds crazy. I'm surprised that they can't give you the results sooner. I'm almost done with music. Oh, I read that. If anything like mine, it's quick, but it does have to be done in the office for no good reason. The sleep study? Or the spice. Alright, I'm gonna take a quick break. I'll be right back. We'll belt out the last little bit of this planning sesh, and then we will do a raid so that I can go get some foods. for the sub. Heck yes. Look at all these emotes unleashed by the sub. Sub for 12 months. Heck yeah. Carly, how's it going? Everything has to go to the doctor to look at and determine if anything was found. Oh, so the doctor isn't there for the study, I guess. It's just the lab techs? Everyone there was a lab tech. Okay. If I had only just read that last sentence. Done with the music! Need to watch through on part to make the music. Make sure the music isn't overpowering my friends and I's voices. So I'll be doing that during the next sprint. Heck yeah. I'm not gonna actually set the timer for the next sprint. I'm just gonna kind of write a couple of paragraphs here. But good luck, Blur. Go for it. Better now that Carly's here. Trying to figure out why people think the way they do about any particular thing. Like, is there a particular thing that you're confused why people think that way? Because, I wonder about these things too. Is there, I'm assuming you can't just tell us what's going on, but if you can/want to, let us know. I'm gonna go ahead and say that weird stuff happens in education because I hear stories from Ghost. But, at some point, I need to have a convo with you about an RDR thing. I don't know if you got there yet. Because as we've established, Wolf has played 4 million hours of that game. Alright. Let's see. Hey Isabella, how's it going? I requested a grad number for a course I never took. What's a grad number? I requested a grad number for a course I never took in undergrad, and they seem to think I'm trying to substitute out a course for this course, and I'm like, no, I just want to take the class. Oh, I see. So you're basically like trying to add an extra course, but they think that you're doing something more complicated. I'm supposed to use the hour and a half after my day job for housework, but I don't know what to do today. Would it be cheating to use that time for writing? I mean, if you feel like your house is fully clean and there's nothing to do, then that would be fair. I mean, if the housework is all caught up, then the housework is all caught up. It would be pointless to do nothing for that hour and a half. It's a graduate level course. Ah, okay. Listen, I've encountered this a lot of times with people where they just make assumptions. They just kind of make assumptions about what your intentions are, and it is a weird thing that humans do. And I think it's just because people don't ask questions to clarify, they just make assumptions. I love doing nothing for an hour and a half. Me too, although I rarely get to do it. Well, what are the things that need done, Sardinisms? I do the majority of my housework on Sunday. So, because I don't feel like doing it during the week, so I do it all on Sunday. I do the housework, I do the cleaning up, I do the laundry, all of that is for chore day. So did they give you a hard time about it, Carly? Did you get it sorted out? Why would it take an hour and a half to clean the kitchen? What's in your kitchen that takes an hour and a half to clean? Could also break it down, sardonisms, and just do like a half an hour of cleaning up and then write for the other hour. I mean, I don't know the rules of your life. I got no authority. Do what feels right. Dishes. Oh, I'm assuming maybe you don't have a dishwasher. Dishes, sinks are gross. One counter gets caked with sugar. It needs scrub. Stove is icky. Floor needs swept and mopped. I usually just do like a wipe down once a week. Fridge shelves feels like extra. I think that's a good response, Carly. I mean, if you're not planning on dropping another class to take this one, they have no reason to tell you not to take it. And also, why did they have to meet with the whole committee? Why did they have to have, like, a consultation about it? Oh, well, if it's grossing you out, then that's fair to want to get it clean. Carly, I get it. I totally get it. When I was like, when I read the first sentence, I was like, why did they need a committee? They could have just had a conversation with you. I'll do exactly one chore on Sunday, which is cleaning one of the litter boxes. They're on a rotation. The upstairs one is cleaned every other week, and then the other weeks alternate between the two downstairs ones. I used to do all my house cleaning on Monday, but then I started needing Monday for writing, so now I do all the house cleaning on Sunday. I just do it all Sunday afternoon. But we also have, like, we try to keep things that can generate mess to a minimum so that I don't have to spend a ton of time on cleaning. I do need to set aside a time to do, like, the spring cleaning for the fridge and all that kind of stuff. Does your partner help with do you have, like, separate house cleaning tasks? Because Ghost Pepper and I have an agreement that he does the dishes and the garbage, and I do the laundry. The therapist wants me to focus on using the time from 6 to 7:30 to do house stuff so that I don't feel like I'm constantly drowning in it. That's fair. I mean, eventually, if you can get it on a rotation, it should be really easy. Although, I will say, an hour and a half for housework every day feels like a lot. The animals are my job, the dishes are my job, the outside is his job, toys are his job. Like, once you get caught up, if you're working on housework every day, you should only need, like, 30 to 45 minutes. And if you think about it, if you were doing that amount of work all on one day, that would be, like, 8 hours of housework. Why would your housework take 8 hours? That's so much. The committee thing is normal for everyone. Anytime they need to add a graduate course, they get together and talk about it. I see. It just feels like overkill. Not to contradict your therapist or anything, but an hour and a half of housework a day feels like a lot. Like, what time don't you go to bed at, like, around 9 or 10? 10 cats, 2 mice, 2 humans, and a still mostly unpacked house. Fair. I don't have... I don't have any animals. I just have Ghost Pepper. Dragon Tails. Are you guys gonna... Are the players in your campaign getting high tonight, Rai? Is that what's happening? Is the Great Worm dateable? Okay, there we go. We're up to 2,311 words for the preparation of the My Little Domerin fanfic. So I've basically covered why I'm doing this, how Aravalia fits into the My Little Pony universe, and a little bit of information about each of our main characters, what their cutie marks are, what type of pony they are, if they have any special abilities, and there we go. It turns out that I made way more ponies back in the day than I originally thought I did, so we have a much larger cast than I anticipated. But it's gonna be great, because I basically have law enforcement covered. I've got... We had a request for a robot pony, so having a pony that has artificial wings is a perfect opening / tie-in for there being a fully robot pony. So we're good. We're in good shape. Now I just have to kind of solidify what I want the story to be. 10 o'clock roughly. I've started showering and taking my meds at 9-ish. So if you're spending... Yeah, I guess I shouldn't be contradicting your therapist. If you're spending an hour and a half on housework every day after work, that's only leaving you like an hour and a half to yourself before you have to go to bed and get up for work the next day. That feels like a lot. That was a couple weeks ago. They get to talk to a hookah-smoking bookworm of a dragon. Dang, I want to date this dragon. If Chuck Tingle has taught me anything, you can certainly try. But he sounds so cool. Or they. I think Rai Rai said they for their pronoun. They sound so cool. I do know what I'm doing today. If it doesn't take the full time, I'll just do other stuff. Heck yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to contradict your therapist. I don't know your life. I don't know the rigors. I don't know the rigors of your time. So I'm not trying to throw a wrench into everything that your therapist is trying to help you do or anything. But this just goes out to all of you in general. Make sure that you're balancing your mental health. Tasks are important and need to get done, and that will help with mental health. But breaking your back over getting stuff done isn't good either. It's, take it from me, it's important to learn to take some time to yourself sometimes, and to feel like you're not breaking your back under things. Then lunch 3 days a week is taken up with exercise and recovering from exercise. I mean, life is essentially 4 full-time jobs that we all have to work. One is taking care of ourselves. One is taking care of the place where we live. One is our actual job, and one is sleeping, which is basically takes up the amount of time of a full-time job. So I get it. But I do think it's a good idea to break up the housework so that you're not like drowning in it, but don't overdo it. Take time for yourself from time to time. The TLDR, most great worms in D&D lore are they, them, and can shift genders at will, just like canonically. Oh, that's super cool! Although they will typically use the same gender for their visage form. I think that's super cool. I don't know a lot of the dragon lore for D&D, because mostly they tend to make dragons evil, and I'm not on that. I don't appreciate dragons being typically evil. I think dragons should be good guys sometimes too. But that's super cool. I like that idea. I learned to like audiobooks for this purpose. I do usually put on music or a podcast or something when I'm cleaning the house, not gonna lie. I used to listen to Welcome to Night Vale while I was cleaning. I also used to spend like 5 hours on cleaning, but I've definitely tried to get my cleaning routine down to me being able to do it in 2 hours. Because it's just, time is short. Time is short and time is precious. But I don't have as many animals as you. I imagine they need a lot more maintenance than my fur-free house, because if my husband looks at something cute, he breaks out in a rash. Poor Ghost is allergic to everything that's remotely cute. Okay, so there we go. We've done our world building for my little Domerin. It's on its way. Domerin has been ponified. Let's see who's online for El Raid. Comet Flower Girl is on. Well, I know where we're going today. He should be a reptile dad or a bird dad. Domerin? Domerin? Have you met him? Sneck can be cute. Also hermit crabs. Also cute. 2024 dragons don't have alignments. I like that. It bothers me, not just about dragons. Oh, we mean Ghost. Listen, I think he's actually allergic to birds. So I think that one's out. I've tried to convince him that we should have a turtle, and he won't go for it. He won't go for it. So if you can convince him to be a reptile dad, I'll take that. But I have had no luck. You'd have more luck convincing Domerin to be a reptile dad, frankly. Anyway, my final rant of the day. Not just dragons, but I hate it when any, like, species in any kind of fantasy lore is automatically labeled as being evil for some reason. I don't like the whole racism against tiefling things either. I think it has a time and a place, but I don't think it should be a default thing for every setting. I think you should be able to have settings where being a tiefling is fine and nobody thinks anything of it, because why? Why do we just have races that are automatically condemned to being evil or needing to have redemption or being spat upon by everyone? Why? It's not... You don't need that trope in everything. So I'm glad to hear that they've gotten rid of that. I'm glad to hear that they've kind of moved past that. If you as a DM want to include that in your setting, cool, great, I get it. But having it be like them trying to make it the default everything has always bugged me. So I like that. I like the idea that each individual is good or evil based on their choices and their experience, rather than because you was born that way. It makes for a much more interesting story and setting if everything is the result of what people have chosen versus you were born with cursed blood, so now you're screwed, sort of thing. I mean, if somebody wants to have that story, I'm not saying that's a bad story. If someone wants that to be their story, if someone wants to have been born with cursed blood and have that be something they're dealing with, that's great. Because I've seen people play those types of characters and do a great job with it, and it's cool. But it shouldn't be like, I can't play that species unless I want to have that story. Every species should be able to have every kind of story. I hope that makes sense. I hope I worded that in a way. That makes sense. Because, man, I think letting the player choose what they want to have as their compelling story is the thing, right? Because that gives the player all the agency. And players can... It's funny... Because players are always paranoid about the GM putting them into a position where difficult things are going to happen to them. But players are actually really good at screwing up their own characters' lives. Here's my tragic backstory and why my character has trauma that I gave them myself before my GM ever touched them. And I love it. I absolutely love it. We as players can be as evil to our characters as we want. And then we're like, here, GM, here's my broken little flower. Give them a life story that they can be proud of. We should talk more about it later. Honestly, I should do a stream where we just talk about, like, D&D and TTRPGs and, like, character creation in general. I could talk about this stuff for hours. I have an idea for a tiefling that just doesn't give a fuck about being a tiefling. Chef's kiss. I think the coolest thing about D&D, and I've said that this many times, is that it's a sandbox. It's rules and mechanics and suggestions, but the coolest thing about D&D is what people do with it. What people take with that sandbox and what castles they build. That's the interesting thing. So for a player to decide to create a character with angst, or a character that's cursed, or a character that's trying to overcome a tragic backstory, there's magic in that, because that's a choice, that's a story that they want to explore. Being forced into that is sucky, because unless you're prepared to deal with that, and unless you want to take on that type of archetype, it can be really frustrating to sort of have it foisted on you. But that's the thing that makes D&D so cool, is that everybody gets the same basic core rule set, but everybody does something different with it. Everybody goes to a different thing that interests them, or embraces a different type of mechanic they want to work with, or a different type of backstory. And seeing what every different person builds with those same Legos, that's what makes it so cool. That's what's cool about novels, and that's what's cool about movies, is when we all get the same basic building blocks, but we all imagine them in different configurations. And I think the more we open it up and the more possibilities that are out there, the more people will grab onto something and say, I think this is cool, and I'm gonna focus on this thing, and I'm gonna tell my story about this thing. And I love that. That's what I love about storytelling. That's what I love about D&D. In general. So that's my spiel for the day. I'm a tiefling. I'm right there with you, Carly. Look, I'm rocking the tiefling look in the game right now. I love talking about D&D, especially talking about my characters. Heck yeah. I live for angst. I played a tiefling and they were angsty as fuck. And you know what? Again, not saying you can't have an angsty tiefling. If you want to have an angsty tiefling, go for it. I've seen many an amazing angsty tiefling. I just don't think they should all have to be because they're born that way. Like, let your tiefling have whatever kind of angst you want them to have, and let other tieflings not give a fuck. Let's let everybody choose their story. That's the cool thing about D&D. There's no right or wrong way. We're gonna go say hey to Common Flower Girl. If you're looking for more of me, I will be back tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m. PST. We're gonna be editing the Aravalia Chronicles tomorrow. No secrets, no excitement, just plain Jane working our way through the final Aravalia Chronicles book. And if you're looking for me elsewhere, I will be over on It's Woof's channel on Saturday night at 7:30 PST for the usual cozy chaos. Just a friendly reminder, even though I swear like a sailor, Common Flower Girl prefers not to have that in her chat, so please tone down on the swearage when we get over there and say hey. But until I see you guys again, please also remember to take care of yourselves. Remember to eat, to sleep, to drink, to get up and move around. I wish you the most and the best creativity and productivity, because you're all amazing and you all deserve it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And it was a little bit more of a weird stream because we basically spent the first 20 minutes reading about My Little Pony lore. But hey, this is what you guys paid for. I will see you all again soon, hopefully tomorrow. And until then, be well and take care of yourselves.